Hello everybody, how are you doing this morning? My draw, Dundersnuff, welcome in. Happy Thursday. Alright. Poninator, what's going on, man? How is the night painting going? Just getting adjusted here. Got something fun we're gonna do before we get into painting our mini. So let's go here. Don't tell my boss, but I've been playing solitaire the last 2 hours on the work computer. I've been there. I understand. So the first thing I want to do before we start, because we're going to be painting Buri Aegnirssen, I think it's how you pronounce it. We're going to be painting this guy, which is great. Should be super fun. I got my colors ready, so we kind of have a good idea of how we're going to paint him. But before we do that, I have 3 people who need to get their names written on some bases. And Pone, this is relevant for you because I think you're still a Patreon member. If you're still a Patreon member, anybody who's a Patreon member, let me know, because you can get this. I'm writing member names and also viewer names on bases for the Thousand Suns. So excuse me, this Big Papa had one. Not yet. I haven't spoken with him, but anybody, if you want your name on a basic troop, so an assault marine, or a tactical marine, or heavy support, or special weapon guy, or something like that, 100 bits or $1 donation, and you get your name on one of these minis that I play with in real games. This is my most played game, so like they'll make it on the table. If you give 500 bits or like $5 donation, just the equivalent, you'll get your name on a veteran or elite squad trooper. So that is, my Terminator squad, my Sekhmet Terminators are actually almost filled out with names. If you want your name on an HQ, that'd be 2,000 bits. I have limited ones. 2 of them are already taken. I have limited HQs, but there's some ways to get your names on higher level people. How much for Magnus? You have to buy me a whole Fellblade to get your name on Magnus's mini. All right, but we have an Inceptor here, and this is Raja. So Raja. Oh no, I need shaking a little better. What's a Fellblade? It's like it's a Legion tank that's coming out this next Saturday. Yeah, it is basically what I am doing is the names that are being written here are going toward funding my purchase of a Fellblade. It's like a Space Marine Baneblade equivalent in Heresy. Okay, there we go. So Raja is the squad leader, or my Sekhmet, being a Patreon member. Our other sergeant here, this is who we lovingly call Sergeant Breadstick, which I guess I have to you have to pay the price for it. That's kind of the joke. I only have one Magnus, so. Can I use a sound to get the name? Yes, you may, my draw. Yes, you may. I should also open up my Twitch here just so I can make sure everybody's got everything. Yeah, 100 bits will get your name on a basic infantryman. This guy, we have to name him the full proper name, so we told Dundersnuff we were gonna do this.
Eat bolt gun!
Nice. Thanks, my draw. All right, I will I'll get you on a Marine. Do you want to be a tactical Marine? A despoiler? You want to put Big Papa on there? Alright, I'll put Big Papa on there for you. In my draw, I don't know if you're a Patreon member or not, but this marker's not wanting to, we'll put Dundersnuff's name on here. You know, we were talking about this in the hangout. You're in the intro level, so if you're at the $1 level, what do you want to be on? We were talking about naming, and I let Zen name basically any mini he wanted. He can get his name on because he kind of runs my stream. But his first choice was Sergeant Breadstick. I believe every day's a good day when you pay. Hey, Tuvon, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it. My writing is not working out so well here. There we go. Gotta go fill it out. Okay, this is gonna wrap all the way around. We'll do this. Let me shake this again. Trying to get anything but some BK. Yeah. Well, Zen took a Centurion, so Zen's a Centurion. It's one I haven't painted yet, so it'll get his name on it, but it's the Twin Lightning Claw one. Ravensbeard, what's going on? What's going on? We're just writing some names on bases for people. So I need to do, hold on, let me put Big Papa here. And I draw. I'm going to make you both Tactical Marines because I use them every game. Mydrol, do you want to be in Mark 6 or Mark 2 armor? What do you want to be in? Yeah, let me know. Mark 2? Okay. Alright. Oh no. Bots. Where's my mods? Just bacon bread. Nice. Very nice. Let's see. Can I... Okay, that person got... They got eliminated. Is there a hype train starting? What? What is that? Get out of here. Get out of here, hype train. Sergeant Breadstick. AKA... Dunder. There we go. All right. That's a mouthful. All right, Sergeant Breadstick, aka Dundersnuff. Oh, and we have one more. One more here is an Assault Marine that I have down here. This is... Wandering Pict. There we go. My handwriting's not great, but we got it. Hey, Butterscorch, what's up? The most prized Space Marine in the collection, Sergeant Breadstick, is now ready for business. So, keep that in mind, guys. If you want your name on a Marine, on a basic Marine, it's 100 bits. What paint pen is this? It is a Artistro. Extra fine tip, 0.7. You can probably find them smaller than 0.7, but I got a box of these for a couple bucks, probably on Amazon or something. Or like a Michaels, maybe. Alright, so... yeah, and all of this money, guys, any of the money that you donate, any of the bits you give for this particular project is going toward buying a Fellblade for myself. That's all it is. It's just funding a Bellblade, Baneblade, a Fellblade. That's what it's funding. So it's selfish, I know, but you guys want your name on on some cool minis. That's all we can do. I did my part. You did. Yes. And I appreciate it. The person who donates the most money toward the Fellblade, or toward this, I guess, project, that person gets to name the Fellblade. So, if you want to name my Fellblade, my only requirement is that my son can read the name on the Fellblade, and I don't have to answer uncomfortable questions. That is my requirement. So it needs to be, my son can read it, so safe for work. And then we can't do, like, those kind of things. So I'm not explaining the birds and the bees to my son over a Warhammer mini, okay? Sergeant Breadstick, toughest SOB on the Eastern Front. Oh no, he always rises to whatever challenge. Oh, that's so good. The name has to have a palette for it somewhere? Yeah. It very well could. Speaking of palettes, I got my nice Euro skid here. If we're being safe for work. Fair condition, yep. Oh, that's too good. I need if you guys want to write lore about your Marine, please do. Write me some lore. Dunder Snuff, if you like to write, or you want to come up with some stories. Give me some Sergeant Breadstick lore. You're a week. Try the veal. And tip your waitress, I hope, is what you mean. Don't, unless your waitress agrees, that's kind of a, you don't want to do that stuff in public, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Paint Battletech mini, doing the pink to yellow. How did it turn out, Butterscorch? What'd you think? What'd you think of the pink to yellow? Was it worth it? Was it, is it kind of overrated? Would you do it again? What are you thinking? Dark purple's such a great color, guys. These pearl curl purples are just some of the most enjoyable colors to paint with. I can butcher the English language on my own. Thank you very much. That's me, man. I type like a toddler without autocorrect, and autocorrect makes it worse. At least as far as I notice. I probably don't even notice autocorrect, just like putting in the heavy lifting, as I misspell every other word. Hey, Grey Wolf, what's going on? Yeah, thanks for lurking. No problem at all. You, Lieutenant Yeast that rises to every occasion. Well, he is technically a sergeant. I may field him as like a centurion every once in a while. Or, and like he can be a sergeant for different squads too. Like I can run him as a spoiler sergeant, which would be really cool because he's got the power weapon and everything. So, Sergeant Breadstick is versatile in his role, and will do what he is required to by his commanding officers. Worked out great. Definitely use it if I were making Imperial Fist. That's good to know. All right. So guys, there you have it. The yellow over pink confirmed. Solid idea. I hardly ever paint with yellow, so I never get the opportunity to try it. Was famous for his quote, "Bag it and tag it, boys." Yeah. I was so mad when you guys started saying it looked like a breadstick that he was carrying, and now I don't even care. It's too great. What if you would have bought him the waitress, Raisha? That's between you and the waitress, okay? I don't think Tuvan is saying that that's a requirement or giving specific instruction. I think he's just adding recommendations to the whole situation, but man, you guys. Is it only Thursday? What are you guys doing? Made a Praetor and Tartarus Terminator armor, gave him a big Volkite gun instead of one arm. That's so cool, though. That's awesome. This is flesh, not chitin. Tag it, boys. Yeah. Book 'em, Lou. Use a shoulder pauldron on the Space Wolves. Yeah. Yeah, you would. Hey, so you guys want to talk about some new Heresy rules that came out for free this morning? I want to talk about free Heresy rules that came out this morning, and I frankly don't really care if you guys don't want to, because I'm going to talk about it, so wouldn't mind some discussion. But Dunderstuff saying hi to YouTube. We got Butterscorch chilling in YouTube right now. I think you might be the only one at this time. But so this morning, the long-expected Legions Inductii rules came out for 3rd edition, and the Inductii, for people who aren't familiar, in the lore during the Horus Heresy, the Space Marine Legions immediately started killing each other, and they were all dying way too fast. Nobody could replace their numbers. So every Legion, whether it was from guidance from somebody or, like they just kind of decided this is what they need to do, they came up with an accelerated process to create new recruits, to create Space Marines. And that accelerated process, those Marines became known as Inductii. So they were never like full-fledged accepted into the Legion, but they were basically Marines that, like, you kidnap kids. They talk about, like, sometimes they were teenagers, sometimes they were like young children. So there was a lot of like sketchy things that they were that like kidnapping children, and they were like stuffing them full of organs, and they put them in the grow vats for like a month. They come out and they're like full-grown Space Marines, and then they like really quickly like psycho indoctrinate them, put them in armor, and throw them on the front lines. That, in a nutshell, is the Legion's Inductii. So it might be children, might be teenagers, but either way, they're super rushed. Probably don't have the mental capacity to be dealing with a war like this. You're posting the Battletech and Praetor now. Oh, sweet. Okay, let us know when it's up. I'll go take a look. So with that came a lot of problems. So not only did the Legions in general, the basic troopers, like never accept the Inductii as like full-fledged members into the Legion, they also had a lot of flaws that introduced themselves in their genetics. So the like gene flaws that in the creation of a normal Space Marine, like in the normal process, would be Buri Aegnirssen. Yeah, that's true, John. Yeah, thank you for that. That's an incredible joke. Buri Aegnirssen, more like Buri Aegnirssen. Am I right? Yeah. So essentially, they got worse equipment. They were thrown on. They were normally more expendable. They were their genetic flaws from the gene seed like showed itself more prominently in the Inductii and everything. All right. Did you post them? Oh, you did post them. Okay. You got your the Thalax you're working on. Nice. All right, Corn Thalax with skulls and a chain bayonet. And yeah, you gave the dude a big twin Volkite. That's cool. Just replace his armor with the Volkite. I love it. The Mark 6 head on the Tartarus looks really good too. Nice. Nice, Butterscorch. Um, so, this morning, yes, this is a palette. This is a Euro palette, specifically. Normally a lot higher quality than the American versions, but the rules for these inductii, and every legion has their own unique inductii rules, but the rules came out this morning as a free PDF. And now if you played 2nd edition Heresy, you might know that the inductii rules for last edition were in a $60 campaign book that I decided to buy because, wow, inductii are really cool. And I literally bought it for a small paragraph blurb of rules out of a 250-page book. So, is what it is. The rules are free, though. Every legion has their own unique things. And for the most part, they are awesome. Like, they're super cool. Super cool, like, very flavorful as far as rules go. They're very unique. Some of them are like upgrades over what you would get for like the basic squad that you'd want, like a tactical squad or despoiler. But a lot of them are like a weird side grade. And they limited their use a bit to where they can't take advantages of prime slots. So prime slots are like free upgrades that you can give your units when certain units that you get. So they can't take advantage of those. They don't have sergeants in their squads, so their leadership is lower, and some of them have like drawbacks on their rules that just kind of happen. Others don't necessarily. I mean, those are drawbacks enough, but they don't hold objectives as well as like a tactical squad or even a despoiler squad would. So they don't score as many points on objectives. So they're very much meant to be like expendable little damage dealers, or like they have some kind of specific role. And yeah, they're super cool. The Thousand Suns inductii have their own psychic power, and they're called unattuned. And the lore with the psychic, or the Thousand Suns inductii, yeah, the Iron Warriors is bolter fodder. I mean, they're all bolter fodder, right? But the Iron Warriors inductii are even more bolter fodder. Which is great. And what else? They have some other... They have a couple other rules that they benefit from. But they actually get the expendable rule. So it's nice. The enemy doesn't score as many objective points for killing them, which is nice. So the Thousand Suns, they have their own unique psychic power. And their lore is that, you know, they're rushed into service. And they're basically taught one psychic power that they basically like psychically tune themselves with their bolters. So they'll use a special bolter with like psychically charged ammunition, and then they guide that ammunition into their target. That's what they do. So they have a power that they can use where they get breaching 6 up. So breaching 6 up on a 6 to wound, your attack basically ignores all armor saves. Boom. Solid rule. However, that can be combined with paying for the Thousand Suns unique bolt guns for them. And the unique Thousand Suns bolt guns give them a rule called rending. And the bolt guns just come with a rule called rending, which is thematically or like lore accurate. The rending rule, and they become rending 6 up, or what their bolters are. Their rending rule means on a 6 to hit, you automatically wound. It's like lethal hits in 40k. Except the difference in 30k, a lethal hit wound, or a rending wound, counts as a 6. Am I out of focus? Oh, I am out of focus. Hold on. I'm way out of focus. My bad, guys. A rending hit counts as a 6 to wound. So if I get a 6 to hit, it auto wounds, but it also goes through armor. So they become like serious damage dealers with just bolt guns. You posted the Battletech. Okay, okay, I'll go check it in just a second. Oh, is that in finished, maybe? Give me a minute. Let's get this blue down. Yeah, so I'm really happy with Thousand Suns Inductii. They seem really good. I would like to model a specific squad and not so much just take tacticals and just say they're Inductii. I would like to have some fun actually making a cool squad with them, because I have some 3D printed shoulders for Inductii, and I have get some unique bolters for them, paint their helmets different, and like do some different things. Yeah, so the lore in the article about Inductii said that the methods they use to implant the gene seed is the same methods they used in like current 40k. So that rushed process of creating a Space Marine is what they do anymore. I think what that tells us, John Lockridge, about like in the lore, is that there's a lot of Space Marine chapters that have weird flaws that maybe don't directly correlate with individual legions. So you think of like the Kakaradons or the Minotaurs or whatever, and like they have these weird things that go on with them. And I think it's just that weird gene flaw expressing itself in a different way. And that's kind of an excuse to say, like, look, Space Marines are a lot different now. Yeah, like the Lamenters just having like super bad luck or something. Like it's the more like expressive gene seed, I guess, showing itself. Nice one on a loyalist list. The expendable goes well with the Dominator cohort. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Mujus, welcome. Yeah, the Iron Warriors are good. The most interesting one to me, I think, might be the worst rules-wise, but it's the Word Bearers. The Word Bearers, they put them on despoilers, so chainsword, bolt, pistol wielding. Guys, I'm going to take a drink of water real quick, guys. My throat's finally like not really hurting. It's for like the first time in like 2 weeks, which is great, but man. Okay. Oh, the Battletech. Nice. Okay. Yellow over the pink. Very nice. Very good job, Butterscotch. That's cool looking. And you're doing like a slap chop thing too. That's super cool. Oh, and oh, Muju's welcome. Welcome into Twitch. For other news too, Monument Hobbies announced 3 new primers, 3 new surface primers. They have a red oxide, dark purple, and is it taupe? Is that how you pronounce that? It looks like a dark ivory color. So those are 3 new surface primers, or airbrush primers from Pearl Krill. Solid, very cool. Thank you for the follow, Muju. Thank you. It explains why the mortality rate for initiates in 40k is really high as well. If Call fixed somewhat with the Primaris. He may have, yeah. Use cataphracti arms in the Terminator. I figured, Butterscorch. I noticed your shoulders. You had the terrages on the shoulders, which isn't a Tartarus thing. It's a cataphracti thing. I was curious about that. So many LGS around me carry Pro Crow. It is nice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. Okay. Let's work on some other things. We're going to use this advanced flesh tone. And I'm going to base coat this dude with some skin. Yeah, I think most of the stores around me carry it. Figure to complete minis. I just learned my LGS a new Lord of Skulls in stock. I've never wanted to model more. A Lord of Skulls, really? That's funny. That mini looks like a nightmare to paint, honestly. In my humble opinion, but I also have different preferences in painting minis than a lot of people do, so. Is there a Procro equivalent to Iron Wars? I'm not sure what specific shade Iron Warriors Metallic is. Is it like a dark silver? Or is it more like a mid-tone? What is it? What is it kind of like? Pro Acryl has 3 silver colors. Yeah, so Pro Curl has, let me show you here. The closest might be dark silver here. There's what the finished color looks like, but dark silver is definitely like one of their goats as far as a shade goes. It's very dark. One of the things about Pro Curl Silver that people may or may not like, if you're really particular about your tone of color here, is that their silvers tend to be on the cooler side. But that's dark silver. Dark silver is a one coat cover. So, and you can thin this down quite a bit and keep it a one coat cover. So, yeah, dark silver is really good color. And using steel or a mix with like silver. They also have a color called magnesium. So magnesium might be another good one. Hold on, let me show you. I hardly ever use this, but this is like a crazy mix between dark silver and bronze. Let's see. Here's magnesium. Very much on like the brown side of the metallic, but it's like not. It's like a really desaturated bronze, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more brown. So I don't use this one too much. I've used it a couple times, but burnt iron as a base. Okay, lead belcher, dry brush over black's what I'd use. Yeah. Annoying. Sometimes I switch to another app, but Twitch window decides to bypass my earphones and blast sound through my speakers. Oh, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Be a lot, but it's gonna look so good. I bet it will. Yeah, Mark 6 is perfect for Ductii. Yeah. That is a good option. I think Mark 5 would be really good too if they made Mark 5. Nice. Yeah, it makes me want to get more Mark 6 Marines. Which I have maybe 80 or 90 Mark 6s. Okay, just some base coats. Three of the second edition box. Wow. I only ever bought one, but I did buy some pieces from another one. That dry brush over black would be great. Yeah. Yeah, it is much more of like a desaturated bronze though. That might just be me pulling out the lid too. It might not be quite as mixed. Okay. Let's keep going with some of these ideas here. We'll eventually get to his cape. We can do some gold. We'll get some extra gold on this guy. Yeah, Mark 6 is really cool. I also like Mark 6. My favorite thing about Mark 6 is how simple it is, and it makes it fast to paint. But otherwise, I mean, I think it's decent as is. So, what I have noticed is when I'm playing a game, I don't really notice the different armor marks. It's not something I pick out. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a Mark 6 dude that I had to kill or something. Like it never, especially when I was playing my last game, I had a mix of Mark 2s and Mark 6s. And honestly, I did not even think about it until after the battle. What's up, Star Laser? What is going on? And guys, if you want your name on a Thousand Suns Marine from my army that will go into battle and your name will be displayed on the base, now's your chance. For just 100 bits or a $1 donation. And that 100 bits can be a sound alert if you want. Or any amount of bits can be sound alerts, right? I will get your name on a base and you'll choose the mini. I'll tell you your options. that money's just going to go toward helping me buy a Fellblade. So, originally it was going to be a Christmas gift from the painting wife to myself, but I'm going to try to get it before Christmas. That's the goal. Green stuff to sculpt the flames on the Tzeentch Thalaks. That's really cool, man. I love how like all out you're going with those Thalaks. Yeah, the Mark II Assault Squad looks great. I want one of those squads. I would not use it for much, just because I have painted my fill of Mark II already. But yeah, I don't really use assault squads. I have 2 assault squads. There are a 20-man assault squad, and that's about my limit. I wouldn't be opposed, you know, would not be opposed to having them or adding more to them or whatever, but that's about it. Wife would never let me do that. She'd take the box from me and hide it. Yeah. So me and the painting wife, we're pretty like, we're very chill about like holidays and gift giving and everything. When it comes to the painting son, who, I don't know if I told you guys, he no longer believes in Santa. He just came right out with it out of nowhere and was like, is Santa real? Tell me the truth. And we're like, okay, dude, jeez. Like holding us hostage about the thing. But we keep surprises for the painting son. But otherwise, no, we asked him. So what we do when he asks us about these things, and we're like, well, what do you think? Like, what makes more sense? You know, does it make more sense that, you know, Santa visits every house, you know, in the world and delivers gifts in one night that you ask for, or does it make sense the other way you think it might happen? And he thought it was, you know, mom and dad buying the exact gifts from his Christmas letter to Santa and then wrapping them up and keeping them hidden. And I was like, which one sounds like it makes more sense? Which one sounds like it would be more real? And he's like, I think it's you guys doing it. And we're like, oh yeah, you're right. So what's up, Avelios? And Hamuna? How do you pronounce that? Welcome in. Thank you for following. See, my reasoning is, if I get this Fellblade before Christmas, then I get a different Christmas gift. So I'm trying to work it so I can get something else for Christmas, you know? It means more minis. That's all that means. We'll get you out. Do some orange. Yeah, and pronounced Humana, like you say it 3 times. Oh, okay. Welcome in, Humana. Sent the Tzeentch torso. Okay, I'll check it out here in a minute. All right, check it out. Wife's like, nope, that's not how it works. Yeah. My wife and I barely celebrate holidays anyway. Like we keep the holiday stuff on the down low. Okay, so it's just his lower legs here. I think purchased in October, December is stored until Christmas. Oh man, that is serious commitment. Yeah, we've done years where we just don't buy each other gifts for Christmas because just don't feel like it. We talk about it beforehand, but her birthday is also Christmas Eve, so I always get her something for her birthday. But might try a Mechanicus Armiger for Christmas. That's solid. That's really solid. There's now 2 competing Warhammer sellers in the square mile each other down here in my part of southern Ohio. Pistols at 20 pace. Yeah. You ask them what their standard discount is, and tell them that the dude across the street is giving an extra 5% when they mention your store or something, and just try to like make them fight over pricing, and then you get cheaper stuff. I don't know. Visit both, or if there's one you like more, go to that one. It's very real. We keep him alive and assume identity as an alter ego to be thoughtful, caring person every season. Yeah. Man, see, we never threatened our kids with the elf on the shelf. Was that a mistake? Maybe. You assume his identity. Okay. Ravensbeard, are you sending? You trying to send bits? You going down, up and down the street till one of them's like 50%. Yeah. See who'll sell it to you at cost, and then go to that store. Okay, we're gonna get them. This guy's gonna look real bad for a while, guys. All right, give me some leeway here. We're gonna trust the process. All right. Elf on a Shelf is a nightmare. Yeah, it is. Buy him stuff all the time. Use his card to buy me stuff. So when holidays, birthdays come around, I'm like, all right, what do you want? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's pretty much what we do. Dunder Snuff. It's great. Yeah. How do you do it? There should be a little button to click. That like shows. That should like show like the bits. You have to buy the bits and stuff. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. Aslan, what's up? Okay, you have been. I don't know, guys. How do you cheer? Just play a sound alert for 100 bits. I'll preemptively write your name down here if that's what you're trying to do. Thank you, there, Ravensbeard. I appreciate that. Enough regional stores down here. We can do a big tournament. Yeah, that's cool. All right. You got stores all over the place. I know a guy that lives in Athens that plays Heresy with us. He's a really good dude. Me, who has 3 kids, 6 years old, 5, and 3. You dodged a bullet not doing Elf on the Shelf. Yeah. I'm gonna. Oh man, having. It's weird to say in a phrase. Not sure I can hear the. No, I can't hear you cheering physically, Cultured American. No. Yeah. You sound very busy, Hamina. We had one kid and we're like, that's enough. Did you put sunglasses on my rubric marine? My emote? That's so great. Santa's a concept of hope, and that framework is very real. The spirit of goodwill of the holiday have deteriorated a lot in the last 2 decades. Avelius, are you trying to rules lawyer my Santa comments? Is that what you're doing? Ravensbeard, thanks, man. Hey, what kind of trooper do you want to be? You want to be a tactical, despoiler, assault marine, heavy weapon, tactical support? What do you want to do? Congrats on figuring that out. Me? Never. No, totally fair though, Avelios. Totally fair. We had a long and I hope fruitful discussion with our son when he stopped believing in Santa about, how he treats people and what he does and doesn't do now that he knows that Santa isn't real. So hopefully it's not an issue going forward. But yeah. You're gonna be tactical. Sweet. Alright, you any Mark 6 or Mark 2? I don't have any others right now, so sorry about that, but one step closer, guys. Mark 6. I'll name him Space Wolf for you. Just for you. Alright. People getting in. And again, guys, you donate bits, or just donate money to my PayPal. I think it's !donate. You can get your name on a Thousand Suns Marine that will see games and that will slaughter Evelios' troops. So, we'll put some down, some coal black. Wearing a Hive Tyrant that ate you? Yeah. What's up, Peter? How you doing? It's a little weird how many races just wear Tyranid corpses. Yeah. People just love wearing dead Tyranids. It's like no one's out there wearing dead Kroot except for like Chaos, but free armor, yeah, it's true. Like the crazy lieutenant from Leviathan, right? Death Guard, oddly specialized weapons armor. Yeah, they do. They do. Common enemy vibe? Yeah, it's like pretty much anybody will unite to fight against the Tyranids. They're always the bigger threat, right? I can also do black on all of these claws. They all start black. These little guys here. Nids are the best, yeah. It's true. Hope new missions help change my mind. 3.0 on paper, but the missions, line, Vanguard interaction bore me. Yeah, I'm liking the look of the new missions from the new journal. Yeah, I like the asymmetrical missions, the attacker defender style missions. What we could also try, Evelios, I could bust out the old battle missions book from 5th edition, which has, I think it's 33 or 36. I think it's 33 like actual missions and like 3 special ones. But we could pull those out and we could try missions from that book. We just have to give a value to the objectives. That's all we have to do. Can't find your super, but you found it. Okay, good. Because there's a lot of good attack and defend and like fun special rules like how units deploy and how you outflank and orbital or what like preliminary bombardments or like stray artillery shells and stuff like that. So Aslan, the new rules that came out are Legions Inductii. So Inductii had rules in 2nd edition and a couple rules in 1st edition. But the Inductii are another way to field your tactical and despoiler squads. So they're the rushed child soldiers used to fill gaps after the crazy attrition. And what you essentially do, you can paint it. So it's legion dependent. Some legions use tacticals, some use despoilers, but you basically can paint them different, and some of them have different war gear. Marine white shields, yeah, with like crazy genetic flaws most of the time, and like different ways of going about combat. So normal tactical squad, just 10 guys with a bolter. A lot of the loyalists, they can change the weapon options on their squads, on their tactical, like inductii squads. Like Ultramarines, you can take 2 special weapons, but it's the basis of a tactical squad. For the like the 40k tactical squad, that's the Ultramarines. So they can get a sergeant, and the sergeant get weapons, and you get the special weapons. They don't get heavy weapons though, but the Imperial Fist can get like heavy bolters or autocannons. The Dark Angels ones, they just all have Volkite chargers. All of them just come with it for free. Like, that's their thing. They just give them all the super dangerous weapons and are like, here you go. City Fight and Planetfall had fun missions. They did. Yeah. I used to have the Planet Strike book. I don't have it anymore. I wish I did, because I'd definitely pull that one out. My part of the world, we wash the corpse of saints and tell the priest to sell the water. And generally, if you see Warhammer 40k or Heresy and think it's crazy, we probably still do it. Yeah, we were having that comment. We were talking about that with something in the real world, and we're like, yeah, when you like really get into like the history of religion and stuff, you'll kind of realize like 40k isn't so far off base with the wildness that it has. Is there a Mighty Empire style game for Heresy? There is not. I do know Mighty Empires had rules for 40k though, because they had fantasy and 40k rules, right? So, but yeah, if they did, that'd be great. I would love to do a map-based campaign for 40k. Oh, that'd be so good. I'd be all over it. Yeah. Wanting to lean more toward narrative chain missions. Getting another adult dedicated 3 or more narrative games is difficult. It is. Yeah, it is, dude. Yeah, the Blood Angels, Inductii, they just straight up can't handle themselves when they fight units in melee, when they start smelling blood. So they will literally just bend down and start eating all the corpses after a combat. Planet Strike rules float around the internet. Yeah, I know you can find the PDFs. Everything's available on PDF somewhere. Seeing actual games that come out of the war would be cool. Yeah, it would be cool. Even just like picking a sector and saying like, hey, we're gonna fight over this sector. It's like a couple planets, and you come up with missions, reinforcements, multiple factions. Yeah, yep. I agree, John Lockridge. Yeah, that's what these games need. We need another Mighty Empire system. I remember getting tiles, some free tiles for Mighty Empires in a White Dwarf magazine. They gave you a sprue, and I was blown. I thought they were the coolest thing. Just absolutely blown away. I never bought the set of those tiles, but now at this point you could 3D print that stuff, and you can find the STLs fairly cheaply. Got a lot of like tie downs on Nice little Tyrannid. That's definitely not a Hive Tyrant that he's wearing, though, right? That skull is way too small. That's like a warrior at best. It's the old Hive Tyrant from 3rd edition. I don't know, man. That's way too small. I mean, that head's a reasonable. That's like a warrior-sized head, though. It's gotta be. These Votan minis are little. Yeah. Send me a picture. Okay. Okay, we got, let's see, brown. Okay, let's keep going with these base colors. And again, guys, he's gonna look a bit ridiculous for a while. Just bear with me. If we finish this mini today, then I have the opportunity to start more minis tomorrow on stream. I already know what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick the most toxic thing in Horus Heresy to paint, or to play. I'm gonna paint those. Okay, a little more black. Let's get this small brush here. So, if you guys remember me talking about my HVAC issue, so my heat pump and everything, that whole like nonsense where they wanted to charge me $17,000 to install a new unit, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to pay $2,500. You sent me a picture of the 3rd edition one. Okay, let's compare. And he is little, isn't he? Look at that smile, though. The dude is cheesing. Maybe? I don't know. So, what I notice, the biggest difference is the Hive Tyrant from 3rd edition. This second piece of chitin right here, or chitin, extends out and points forward. This piece right here is actually like a shoulder piece. It's not part of his head. So he doesn't have like the extended like chitin on his head. And then he also has the extended rear ones. So I could see if it's like an homage to the old Hive Tyrant. And I guess, I mean, like the size, I guess, would be pretty similar to that one. So like I could see it. I don't think it's like it's definitely not like a look, we're gonna put this like Easter egg in here, but I could see it. Butterscorch, the most toxic thing in 30k, from my understanding right now, are tarantula batteries. So let me show you. I primed mine last night, so I got this one. It's base coated silver. The thing about these tarantula batteries, you see, like they're chunky little turrets. All right, I magnetize the weapons. I'll clean it up, but they go magnetize on there. These are vehicles, and they infiltrate. So they start outside your deployment zone. The big thing about them is vehicles. You cannot move through vehicles. You can move through enemy models and friendly models with your own vehicles and stuff. You can't move through vehicles. So what you do with these, and they start at like 35 points for They start at 35 points for like a one with like a twin heavy bolter, which is incredible price, honestly. What you do is you deploy these and you like box out objectives or like choke points. You set them places, and then enemy rhinos and troops can't move past them in their first movement phase, so they can't score on the first turn. So if you don't have first turn, then you basically box the enemy out from scoring anything, and then you get to act like you have first turn. If you have first turn, these will box out the enemies like counterpunch because they just sit there. They can't shoot on their own. Their only shooting attack is a movement reaction. Why is it a vehicle? Because it's a robot. That's why. It's a derpy vehicle. It's like armor value 10. It's got 2 hull points. Like you damage it with like 1 or 2 weapons, it's done. Super easy to kill. The other thing that it has is if the enemy does kill these in their shooting phase, so that first shooting phase, normally there's a secondary objective called First Strike, where if you kill an enemy unit in your first turn, you get a bunch of victory points. Well, these are expendable, I think 2, which means that if an enemy were to score victory points off of killing these, they score 2 less victory points. So if you're playing a game with First Strike, that's 4 points, which would probably be the most it is in any given game. That's like a high amount. The enemy would only score 2 points off of First Strike for killing one of these. So they're not even as worth it to shoot at. And then you can't move past them in the movement phase. So, and also you can give them things like meltaguns or las cannons. So when you do that react fire, you could potentially start killing stuff like rhinos when they get on the board and everything. So you can start like doing things, but otherwise they're just a dirt cheap, like it's a movement blocker is what that's all it is. And it's movement blocking. I see a lot of people with the focus is around when you're playing the game to win. It's around taking rhinos and transports, throwing your units up in the middle and grabbing a bunch of objectives first turn, and scoring a whole bunch of points first turn and then stopping the opponent from doing it. So the tarantulas counter that in that they stop the opponent from getting to those objectives on the first turn. So I bought those before I knew about that. And so I bought the missile variant. So I didn't even buy the variant you're supposed to use for that. But I do like defensive weapons and stuff like tarantulas anyway. So what's up, Sir Stroming Fish? I don't mind it. I mean, like, it's obviously the kind of the more like win at all cost attitude for that, which I'm not a fan of. But that play in itself is not nearly as toxic as like Contemptor Dreadnoughts in 2nd edition. So, the scary Helm Hammerhand, nice. That's what you're painting. Very cool. Yeah, like that blocking is going to work on 1 turn and 1 turn only. It's not like that's going to be lasting through the game, and they're not putting out damage. It's literally just an insurance policy against like first turn alpha strikes. Still, it is pretty crazy. Using guitar string for Volkite. Interesting, Butterscorch. Interesting. Definitely not 1-to-1. Yeah, and Avelios, I will cede that to you because you definitely know a lot more about Tyranids and their minis and stuff than I do. So, yeah, I mean that's cool if they put this in here as like a like a callback to that 3rd edition Hive Tyrant. I think that's really cool. Yeah, Contemptors were so disgustingly broken in 2nd edition that immediately when the game came out, they were house ruled to where in a competitive event there was a whole Rite of War that was focused around Dreadnoughts that was just banned at everything. Was never allowed to be played. and uh, the common house rule was one dreadnought per 1,000 points of a game that you play, and that's how they had to limit dreadnoughts. Um, that was like the bare minimum of how people would house rule second edition. There were other house rules and stuff, but like I said, they were way too good. The missile battery thing's growing on you. Oh, cool. The tarantula, is that what you're talking about? Makes sense because the storyline of when the squats were killed. Yeah, that's true, Veli. No, I do love the idea that this would be like the third edition Hive Tyrant because, yeah, it's kind of like a you thought you killed us Games Workshop and now we're back kind of thing. Yeah, a little tongue in cheek from the mini designers. I realized how much money it requires to play Solar Ox. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like, do you want 250 infantry or do you want like 18 tanks? There's no cheap way of going about that. So cool though. I just want to do all the things and have all the minis. Not usually a fan of bunkers. Yeah, I like the ideas of fortification. That's always been something I thought was like really cool in games, is like messing with fortifications and stuff. But they've always been so terrible that it's been worthless. I tried the Arachne accelerator platform, the one from the Saturnine box, and it put in serious work. I think it paid for itself twice over just standing still and shooting. And it was always a thing where it was like never a big enough threat for my opponent to dedicate firepower to it. So he just kind of like let it be, and it ended up it would kill like a Terminator here, Terminator there. It blew up a Rhino, and it more than paid for itself. Kill two birds, your wallet with one stone, and buy Solar Ox to build GSE for 40k. Wait, what? 9 more bass. Yeah, you really are going for toxic. I love it. 40k guard are the same. Yeah, 40k admech I think are the worst offender, right? It's 40k guard as well. Solar Ox are worse because it benefits the benefits of list building in 30k. Yeah. 30k definitely. You're encouraged to have bigger armies too. I think based on the points, but also yeah, you play bigger battles. Hmm. Get the flesh underneath here. I think we'll do like a pink. Well, let's start with a tan flesh on that. Ideally, they should be free in points, but you make people buy them in real money. What? Oh, the fortifications. Yeah, trenches are too good not to cost points. They're probably a little undercosted for what they do. I don't think they needed as much infiltrate as what they got. That's probably the worst part about them. But I like that they have a use. It's hard to be mad when a mini has an actual use in the game. And it's not like they're doing all that and killing a bunch of stuff, like and doing all these crazy things. Like they're just messing with your opponent's opening turn. Love knights, but they're expensive. Yeah. Yeah, Leviathans are my favorite dreadnought. They're so cool. I only have one of them. I might eventually get a set. I want one with guns. Then I'll magnetize all the guns. Because mine I glued in the claws on mine. But one of these days I'll get one with guns. Command into Tercio auxiliary detachments. Yep. Tank commander, 6 more tanks. You know, rule that buffs them. Yep. With tank commanders, you have 6 more tank slots. Yeah. Man, I love it. I love their list building rules, though. The army building rules have become so much fun, in my opinion. I know they're complicated and like hard to get to, but Leviathan Dreadnoughts, no, they won't be getting a refresh. They just came out with one in plastic, like 2 years ago. Posted the added cable for the Praetor. Okay, cool. And you have, you said you posted another mini, right? Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, the flames on the Zinch. Man, your green stuff work is great. Oh, the cable. Yeah, the cable's really good. Nice. And thanks for jumping in the Discord. You've joined this Discord before, haven't you? Get a smaller brush, get a little more detail with this flesh color here. So this whole like HVAC saga on my house. Company came, they quoted me on a new system, $17,000, not paying that. I'm not buying another car to not have another car, you know. And man, the guy had like, I recognize his sale. I worked in sales for a short time. I recognize his sales technique. He was asking me, like, you know, what's more important, the total price or the monthly price? And I was like, all of it. Like, I don't want to spend the money, you know, like, I don't want a car payment and I can't spend all this money. So, whatever. So I ordered parts to fix our heat pump ourselves. And it's not broken. It's just there are pieces that are going bad. And yeah, there's no return on investment in that too. There isn't. There absolutely is not return on investment on that. I mean, no, but it still is a car payment. You know, like, yeah, there's no way you're getting a car for $17,000 anymore. But so I ordered the parts, and I got it from a website. I saw a lot of people recommend, and you know, multiple people recommended. So I was like, all right, I'll grab the parts from here. And I ordered the parts, and like, yeah, they'll be delivered like Friday, September 26th or whatever. And I was like, sweet. All right, so I spent about $400 on parts. You can't join Discord's other parent. Oh, okay. That's fair, and kudos to your parents for establishing some limits on internet things. As much as that, you know, sucks for you, but I hope you appreciate that when you're older. So I ordered parts, and they're like, yeah, to fix the parts here, it's going to cost about $2,500 if I were to hire this company to actually fix the issues with my my heat pump. Well, I ordered $400 in parts. Like, yeah, I'll be delivered on, you know, Friday the 26th. And I was like, that's cool. I can deal with that. My parents are coming up into town next week, or next weekend. And my dad's going to help me fix it. He's super handy. I'm just going to kind of let him, you know, kind of do it. He said he can fix it. So, yeah, just needed the parts. Awesome. So, all right. Have a good one, Butterscorch. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for sharing your work, too. It's good stuff, man. So I ordered the parts. Yeah, it'll be here. Plenty of time to get them in, so they're not like sitting around waiting. I ordered the parts yesterday, or 2 days ago. And when I checked yesterday, like, I'm just curious on the status. I heard they ship really quick. My order said that everything's going to be delivered on October 28th. And I was like, hold on a second. That is not what they said when I ordered the stuff. Like, that's not good. So I was looking around, I was like, well, like, do I have like proof on what they put? Because, You know, I texted my wife and told her, like, hey, it's going to be delivered this day. But otherwise, like, I don't have, like, a screenshot of their delivery date. And they don't have, like, a phone number to call and ask about it and everything. So I was like, you know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until it ships. If it ships and gives me the crazy date, I'm gonna ask them, I'm gonna call or find a way to contact somebody and figure this out, because I can't have it showing up a month after I'm supposed to get it fixed. So this morning, and their whole thing was like, yeah, it ships within, you know, the same day if you order it in that day, you know, order before 9 p.m. or whatever. It's like, all right, whatever. So I looked this morning, and it shipped already, and I was like, oh, okay. Cool. How long is it going to take to get here? So I looked up the tracking, and the tracking info said it's going to arrive today. So they're like, yeah, Thursday, the 25th, it'll be here before 2 p.m. or whatever. And I was like, what? What is this place? Their tracking might, or their order might just have like a placeholder when you order, so I don't know, like they have to have a value in there, so they just stick something a month out or something. But yeah, so I might be just getting all these parts today, which would be nice, and crazy fast, because that's like 2 days from when I ordered it. So I'm gonna hope that's the case, and I get the parts and I can just sit on them for a little while until I need them. I gotta get silver and I gotta get red here. I may have done that before I touched up. That's okay. Said he looks really bad right now, guys. Just wait. Just wait. What did I say? Red and then silver. I can do the silver first. This is a trust the process kind of mini. He cost $12K to get replaced. That was 5 years ago. Yeah. Yep. Well, and the unit that we'd be paying $17,000 for to get replaced was only slightly more efficient than our current one. So to the salesman credit, he was honest. He said, you're probably going to save a couple dollars a month. He's like, it's never going to pay for itself over its life. It's not like you're gonna have it pay for itself while you're owning it or anything. So, you know, that's kind of the reality with it. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. We had the one we have now, we had installed back in 2014, and it replaced an old unit that there was no heat pump. So our heating bill would be $600 a month, and our budget bill was almost $300 a month if we budgeted through the year. It was a terrible system. We got it replaced. We paid, I think, $4,000 to someone we knew to do it like on the side as like a side job, and he bought the unit and replaced it. And about 2 months later, our electric company sent us a letter in the mail. And they said, hey, we noticed your electric bill changed a lot. Don't pay your bill until August. And this was December when they sent us this letter. They said for 8 months, you're not going to have a bill. And then starting in September, you're going to pay like $30. And then after that, you're going to pay like $100 a month. And like that was our electric bill. So that furnace paid for itself in like a year and a half. And like obviously we're not going to get that return on investment with another one, because we're just dealing with efficiency and not just straight up replacing parts. So this bit's thrown in for free. I'm immediately suspect. Yeah. Like I said, the salesman was good about that. He wasn't dishonest about anything. So okay, we got these base colors. Let's go through with this tan flesh a little more. lots of little washes we're going to put on this mini. Even mine high is my windows are drafty. Yeah. And like it can be expensive to replace a bunch of windows too. It's just, yeah, it's like there's only so many mitigating things. Yeah, we have drafty windows too, which I think would be nice to replace, but you know, that's all. It's more money. Always more money. Okay. I think what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to start with a wash. Grab something. 20 to 25k. Oh, that's painful. Okay. Just do one drop and one drop for this sepia. I don't need a lot of it. Electric company can remotely shut off my AC to prevent brownouts with no notice or warning. That sounds sketchy. Your windows are 175 years old. I hope they were well built. I mean, they must be at least somewhat well built, right? We had we had our sliding glass door, like our back door, and a kitchen window replaced pretty early on in our home ownership by a really reputable company, and they were very expensive. This was like, I don't know, 2013 maybe, and we paid $2,500 to have these those two things replaced. It was mostly the sliding glass door. All right. Oh, Zen. Okay, 3D printing. What's up, dude? Good morning. We got stuff to talk about, dude. I hope you're ready. But yeah, we got those replaced, and they've been really nice since then. So original in the house. I hope so. I couldn't imagine, like, yeah, these were replaced 175 years ago. You know, the owners really like the look of the windows or something. Put this wash on, go take a look. Yeah, that's super sketchy. You said you live in the south, right, Sir Stroming Fish? So like, it's like summertime that becomes a problem, right? So Zen, the Legions Inductii rules came out today. And I had my fear of what they could be. And my fear was that they were just like a tactical squad with an advanced reaction. That was my fear. And I'm happy to say that is complete opposite. Like, the Inductii rules are really cool. And for the most part, they're cooler than they were in second edition, and they're like more balanced out. Your rule is not quite as cool, but your rule, like, you kind of got your rule for your army, right, with that gambit, where you just start throwing people. You don't like backstab. You backstab people, just not in challenges. That's basically your Legion rule. Or your inductee, I rule. All right, we got that wash. Let's look at these minis. Or terrain here. 3D printing. Oh, wow, that turned out so good. That's so cool, Zen. That is so cool. Are you happy with the result here? Are you fine with it, or what do you think? What your professional opinion? You see it in person and everything. I think some textured spray primer, a good simple wash and a dry brush, and like that's a lot of it. It's big too. Second part's coming around nicely. Came out super nice. Awesome. Zen is printing my my Prospero terrain right now after much discussion and headaches on Zen's part last night. Happens this summer. One of my neighbors has AC shut off for 6 hours, so I was malfunctioning. The electric company. Yeah, it's crazy they don't like notify you that they're doing it either, which is wild. Some good water here. So I have some named minis here. Wandering Pict is an assault marine with a power sword. Reja is my Sekhmet Terminator and Scepter, so the sergeant for my Sekhmet Terminators. There you go, Reja. There you are. And Dundersnuff, I got Dundersnuff here, is Sergeant Breadstick, aka Dundersnuff. So she got to be Sergeant Breadstick. So yeah, if you want your name on 1,000 Suns mini, 100 bits for a basic mini, 500 bits for an elite model. And this is all just helping me to fund a Legion Fellblade. That's what all this money's going to. So, about a quarter of the way there. And whoever donates the most money toward it gets to name the Fellblade. So right now that person is Grumpy Insight, who gave 1,500 bits. His like crest piece is like a Tyranid head right here, the like symbol. Normally they're like rams or goat heads or something like that. And his is just a straight up Tyranid, which is a really cool touch. No, you can name it Tanky McTankface. The restrictions for naming the Fellblade are that my son, if my son reads this name, that I don't get uncomfortable questions, that I'm not answering uncomfortable questions for my son, for my 8-year-old son, who can read. So that's my limit. So that means, no foul language. I am not explaining the birds and the bees to my son over a plastic Space Marine tank. So please do not don't do that. But yeah, otherwise you got creative names. You get to name it. What if it's in Latin? You can put something in Latin. I would say don't make it inappropriate in Latin either, because my son's gonna be like, "What's that mean?" Raptor gave me names for tanks in Latin during the 12-hour stream. I have a couple of Latin named tanks just from him, so. yeah, we're not doing that, Zen. Also, not naming a tank that. So let's be perfectly clear here. this brown wash on here? Yeah, it's $210 retail. Yep. The tank is. We're already about $50 toward the goal. I'll actually put a goal up on stream if you guys want to see it, but we'll call it the Name a Marine goal or something. It's the Dread Skull. Yeah, it's gotta be something wild like that. Yeah, that's cool. I'd be okay with that, Avelios. Yeah, the new Fellblade tank is 210 USD. Which is more expensive than a Baneblade tank. However, I think the Baneblade tank is going to get the price rise at the end of October. The price increase is coming, so I imagine the Baneblade's going to go up to that much too. Yeah, it's a Marine Baneblade. Yeah, that's what it is. It looks gorgeous. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. Absolute monstrosity. Yeah, Dundersnuff changing my emotes. Look at it, Zen. Look at the emote you made. It's like a cool rubric. So Hawker will walk in front of him in the beach. It's an 80s movie? Yeah. He's raising his sunglasses on. Well, that's trippy. Plastic Fellblade before, plastic 30k Baneblade. Yeah. Solar Ox will have their day in the sun. I'm convinced that there's going to be a big announcement stream. Was it end of October, early November? And I think the next wave of miniatures, I think there's going to be some Space Marine stuff. I think they're going to announce Custodes. I think they'll do some Solar Ox stuff too. Solar Ox probably the lowest on the list, which is unfortunate, but I think they'll get announcement. There'll be Mechanicum stuff. There'll be a lot. All right, under here, I have a wash that I have not used before. This magenta wash. Have I used this? No, it's still sealed. No, there's no LVO stream. Yeah, it'll be the like Warhammer, the Grand Narrative is when they're doing their next announcement stream. Plastic Custodes. Yeah, there'll be plastic Custodes coming. Yeah. Yeah, I think Dark Mech will get announced. Probably next year. I bet Dark Mech will be a thing. Yeah, Custodes are definitely going to get something good. Okay. Just a little bit of wash. What I'm going to do with this magenta, it's very bright. Let's see. Example of it, just kind of smear it on there. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of flesh wash. Yeah, Yark's alive. Yeah, that's the thing. He was talking about the holiday sets. The 3 he heard about, Tau, Tyranids, and Chaos Space Marines. So, if you guys are curious, those are 3 of the holiday sets coming out. Because he posts exact contents, too. The Tyranid set is big monsters. It's like 5 big monsters, and that's it. The Tau set is Farsight, 3 Crisis suits, a Broadside suit, and a Riptide. So that's the Tau set. The Chaos Marine set is pretty generic. It's like a Lord. Oh, it's a really nice color. Okay. It's a Chaos Lord, a Rhino, a Venom Crawler, Obliterators, and then like what were there, like some Havocs and a Legionary squad, maybe. That color turned out way better. Way better than I thought it would. Admech for 11th. I don't know if that's speculation or if that's things he's seen. He did say he did retract his Gilliman getting a new model rumor though. I guess he heard from someone more reliable that that's fake. So weird. Yeah. 2 push fit edition, launch monsters, 3 monsters. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's the Screamer Killer, the Neuro Tyrant, and then what, a Maliceptor, a Tyrannifex, and then the other Scepter, whatever that is. No, the Ferris Mini's definitely fake. I think we all kind of probably assumed that it was fake from the get-go. A Horospex, Maliceptor, and Tyrannifex. Yeah, the Horospex was the other one. Okay, that lovely, lovely pink color. Dang, guys. That is 1 part magenta wash, 1 part flesh wash, and 2 parts flow improver. Make that really nice wash. All right. The tentacle rubric. Really need to release the lieutenant with combi weapon. It's not a single kit yet? Whoa. Yeah, Night Lord's Inductee, I roll a d6 for every living mini after combat is complete. For every 6 to deal 1 damage to a single model. Yeah, which is, Zen, it's okay. It's better than just standing still, because if the enemy holds, you still get to do it. The best thing about their minis, though, their rules, are their knives that they get. Their prison shivs are breaching 6 up. Which any other unit in the game, you have to pay 5 points to get that. Because it's a sharnable saber. That's all it is. Like, even the Emperor's Children despoilers have to pay 5 points a mini to get breaching 6 up. And your dudes just come with it. And it's precision 6 up too, which is also really good. Because you can just start picking out characters and like Vexillas and stuff that give extra combat res to the enemy. Yeah, it's their melee weapon that's really good. The Chaos Space Marine box, it's a Lord, a Rhino, a Venom Crawler, Obliterators, Havocs, and a Legionary squad. I think that's... If you give me 1 second, I can check. Yeah, 10 Legionaries, 5 Havocs, Obliterators, Venom Crawler, Rhino, and a Lord. It's Lord Discordant. That's what it is. They confirmed Custodians are getting their own book. They have. Yes, they have Sir Strumming Fish. Yeah. Fun to paint up. The white handprint on their helmet's cool. That's true. Yeah, and there's tons of options for like their weapons that you can use too. That'll be really fun. Good starter point, but not great. Yeah, the Christmas boxes are... I'm underwhelmed by what they have, honestly. There's not much there to them. So Zen, I think the Thousand Suns Inductii continue to... Thousand Suns continue to win this edition with their Inductii rules. My Inductii, they're just Bolter Marines. I can give them Volkite, but it's a waste. They get their own psychic power that if they pass, they get breaching 6 up on their shooting attack. What makes that... So, like, that's a good ability, right? When you're putting out 20 to 40 shots with a unit, every 6 to wound is breaching. What makes that really good... and I can't put the rending 5 up power in the unit, but what I can do is I can give them my Legion specific bolters that are 3 points a model, but they give the models with them. Ferrus Manus confirmed. What? Don't tell me GW just announced Ferrus Manus. I can give the whole squad a bolter that gives them rending 6 up. So on every 6 to hit, they count as a 6 to wound. Yeah, it's a 120 point squad for 10 of them. And I would happily double those. 12 points are 240 points to put out 40 shots. And of those 40, 1 in 6 is an auto breach, an auto breaching wound. And then out of the rest of those, every 6 is a wound. Like that shreds a dreadnought every turn. They'll just literally gun down a contemptive dreadnought in a turn. People are gonna lose their heads if Ferrus comes back? Yeah. No one's bringing Ferrus Manus back. Yeah, the newbies to the Legion. Yeah. They have a couple rules that, and their perils aren't more dangerous either. So I think the idea with the Legion, with that rule, is that, they're obviously psychically gifted. And so what the Legion did was they trained them to use 1 power and 1 power only, instead of being like a well-balanced scholar and librarian like they do with the rest of the Legion. So their 1 power is, hey, you have these psychically tuned guns with psychically tuned ammunition, so we're going to teach you how to use those guns and to guide that ammunition into the weak spots in your target's armor. And that's actually the lore behind the Thousand Suns Inductii. And so they made them to pair with those Ace-Fix bolters really nicely. So it's very, really like loreful, but also like super strong. A data sheet going around for him, but it was an edit. Yeah, we were talking about the other day of Elios. The leadership 1+. Yeah, I need to get my hands on some rubric bolters now. Which I have access to, so it's not that big a deal. Continuing on the highlights on his skin, because we're just in the highlights now. Some more this tan flesh in here as a highlight color. Yeah, the inductee rules are really cool. They don't have sergeants. They can't take prime advantages. They don't hold objectives as well as tacticals. So like, there's like actual uses for them that are really cool, and rarely are they just a straight up upgrade over the base unit that you'd want to take. So I really enjoyed it. I think they did really well in those rules. This dude has like Tyranid parts in his arm, maybe. It's a bit like he does. Slept too long? No, that's too bad. Feeling good. I'm doing my little diet here, just trying to get back into my my weight I would like to be, and for the month, I started the 1st of September, and for the month I am down 10 pounds. So, over 10 pounds at this point. Feels good. Yeah, thank you. Quite proud about that. And I've been feeling a lot better this time. I started kind of inadvertently like intermittent fasting, where I just don't eat until 10 a.m. and then I'm done eating before 6. Normally like 5 o'clock or whatever, I'm done eating for the day. So like I think that's helping a lot. And I've been taking days where I've been kind of eating what I want. So just like little breaks here and there. So like I ate lunch with Zen a couple times, and probably tomorrow I think he's gonna come over and stream with me. And I assume we're gonna be eating something delicious for lunch. But been doing that, and so it's been a little easier to handle. I'm not just like constantly dying and like craving, all this stuff. But I also have a lot better idea of what I'm doing than when I did this last year. When I lost almost 40 pounds last year. So, what's up, Frankie Fingers? How you doing? I want that chicken sandwich again. No, I'm gonna leave this up to Zen because he eats out a lot more than I do. So, if he's tired of, like, I'll pretty much eat anything at this point. So, if there's something that sounds good to him, I'll eat it. We can do Oreos. Oh man. All right, I'm just not gonna eat in the morning. I'll get my body ready. And my throat has been hurting for like the past 2 weeks, and I've been like just so annoyed with this. And I woke up this morning and my throat wasn't hurting, which was incredible. So like just another W for today. It was weird, just like talking. It like doesn't feel grating to talk or anything.
I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart.
Serantis, how you doing? Thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody. How you guys doing? Memento May official, welcome. How are you doing? Serantis, how was the stream? Thanks for joining. Thanks for raiding. I hope you're doing well. What were you up to? Just putting some, starting some highlights on this grumbly old dwarf here.
Stay on target.
I am off. My bad. I think I nudged my camera off to the side. Now it's just ever so slightly off. Thank you, though. Thank you for the reminder. Either first of 3 steeljacks. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, also dwarfing. All right. Good deal. I'm painting these as a commission. And this is kind of my last little phase of this. Is just painting this guy. He's like my reward for finishing the other stuff. But very cool. Welcome in, guys. Guys, if you are not familiar with my channel, I'm the Painting Dad, and I literally just chill and paint. And at this point, I'm doing it 6 days a week. Mostly on the weekdays, and I do Sunday nights. So that's what we're doing. I'm a commissioned painter. I also paint a lot of my own minis. Just got shorted on steeljacks. Didn't get any. That's too bad. I don't have any steeljacks to paint yet, so I'm not worrying about those yet, but I'm sure I will get this paint done. I'm sure I'll get them eventually to paint for someone. Yeah, the Brokier Ironkin have also been out of stock, and that was a whole big part of my commission for this was painting Brokier Ironkin, and they are non-existent. My LGS ordered them for me 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they have not shown up. So, is what it is. I think I'll just ship this stuff out separately, and then we'll deal with what comes in when it comes in. Not even new minis. When I joined stream, I think I heard you talk about your heat pump parts. Yes. So, okay, I'll tell the story again for Zen's sake. So, I ordered heat pump parts from the website that you actually sent me. I looked them up. People highly recommended them. I was like, cool. I ordered the parts, all said and done with everything I needed. It was like $400. So, when I ordered, and I ordered at like midnight the other night, they said that the parts, all but one of the parts were in stock. The parts in stock would be here by Friday. I was like, man, that's fast, but also that's perfect because my parents are coming in. My dad's he said he'll install them for me or help me install them. So, so sweet. They'll be in here before next weekend, which is when I need them, when my parents are going to be in town. So, I ordered the parts, and then the next morning, I check on their website, or I check my order on their website, and it says that they will arrive on October 28th. Yeah, Zen was the dude that found the part numbers, guys. So I want to wait until you're here to tell everybody, right? Yeah, I asked him, and he's just he's good at looking up part numbers for equipment apparently. So he did that for me. But yeah, so they changed it to October 20th, and I was like, that can't be true. Yeah, they said it was in stock, and they said it would be here, and I was trying to look up where they told me it would arrive this Friday, and there was nothing to be found, no information, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just a placeholder, and maybe once they ship it, I'll get more accurate information, or if they don't ship it by today, was my thing, that I'll do what I can to get in contact with them, and I'll try to see what's going on with that, because that stuff needs to be here. So I checked again this morning just to make sure, and the stuff had shipped, and I was like, awesome, okay, so it's at least shipped, and they shipped it FedEx, which sucks, but I checked, hey Flotsam, what's up? I checked the tracking information, and FedEx already has a delivery date, and it's going to be delivered today. And I don't know if it's everything or just 3 of the 4 parts that were in stock. But apparently this company is based out of Ohio. So they're probably right down the street from me. And they just have someone from FedEx walking it over. I don't know. So we'll see if stuff shows up today. I'm not sure if it will, but they said between 10:30 and 2 p.m. So yeah, I should schedule pickup. No kidding. I will save myself $10. But that gives me hope for when they get that last piece in stock, because the last piece that I'm waiting for is the actual blower motor. And they said it would be delivered between Friday, October 3rd, which is when my parents arrive, and Wednesday, the following Wednesday, which I don't know what day that is, but that's the day my parents are supposed to leave. So, but also that's, I think, the easiest thing to install out of all that equipment. So probably the one I'm least worried about. Starting my highlights on this, guys. I'm doing this my classic Tyrannid scheme. This is not the same person that I've painted Tyrannids for, but I told them about this color scheme, and they're like, yeah, sounds good. I was like, cool. I will do it then. As they unfortunately do not have any friends or frequent opponents that play Tyrannids to base the dead Tyrannid color scheme off of. Comes in late, I'll install that. Yeah. I appreciate that. Dude, that pyramid print looks so good. How can you do a favor for me, Zen? Can you take a Space Marine and like put him on that little platform on that piece of terrain? Is there a small invader fleet for my GSC? A Moloch and 40 gargoyles? That's cool. Yeah, that's an appropriate. Them are like, actual like Gene Stealer type minis, right? Or like the appropriate allies. That's really cool, Aslan. You should take your GSC army and just play them in 30k. I am not even exaggerating when I say the militia book for 30k is the best army book Games Workshop has ever put out in terms of like interesting things. And you can play your GSC army in that book. The only thing like that wouldn't be like super like kosher would be like the actual Gene Stealers themselves. But like just about everything in that book either has direct rule translations, so mining tools, ridge runners, quads and bikes, that kind of stuff, or you can kind of like fudge it a little bit, like your who are the big dudes that throw stop signs at people? The big mutant ones. They can be ogre and different stuff like that. Like you can make that work. Aberrants, yeah, that's what they are. Yeah, it's been a while. Been a while since I messed with my GSC. Yeah, I'm thoroughly convinced the people that are still trying to hate on Heresy Third Edition are just missing out. They're just missing out so much. You posted, okay, sweet. 1 second, I'll check it. 1 second. Does all that have a little highlight? All that blue, nice. Okay, I'll show you. I'll show you what makes this blue really fun here in a second, guys. Okay. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, okay. Yeah, that works out just fine. So I imagine a 40 mil will fit on there, and then it has like a big flat spot on top. Yeah, dude, Zen, we're gonna have epic battles on this pyramid. That's what's gonna happen. If only 3.0 had Eldar orcs off the rip. Yeah, just like straight up rules for him. Yeah. That spot's the connection point for top right. Yeah, yeah, I see that. But even then, like the piece of terrain has a there's like a it's like a platform, right, where those stairs lead. I did join the Heresy Discord. They have homebrew rules for Eldar and Orcs. They do currently. I don't know what Heresy Discord you joined that has the homebrew rules there, but yeah, the closest you could do for Eldar and Orcs right now in the official rules is again using those cults rules, and the militia rules, the Imperialist militia, and just kind of like fudging it a little bit. You'd have to like limit your entries and stuff, but orcs are more reasonable. You can make them toughness 4. You can give them goofy weapons. You can have swarms of infantry with swords and pistols. Like you can do that kind of stuff. That won't be like a 1-to-1. But then again, like orcs wouldn't be a 1-to-1 compared to Space Marines nearly as much in 30k. going through, we're kind of doing this a little like feathering method where I'm just pulling my brush, and I don't want like an exact edge highlight. I don't want to pull it all the way through. The nice thing about these Procro colors, they darken a little bit as they dry. So they kind of like blend themselves more into the color. Stone texture spray paint would always complete these terrain. Yeah. I need to find like a white stone. Age of Darkness got community server status. Okay, yeah, you're in the right Discord. Yeah, the Panoptica. Yeah, okay. So Panoptica doesn't have 3.0 rules. They have a 3.0 like little like rules edition thing, and I think they talk about it because the creators are all on that Discord. Panoptica is pretty legit. People generally like accept it and everything. It's not an issue. It's normally a thing you just tell people like, "Hey, I want to play Panoptica. Like, is that cool?" And people are fine with it. And it's normally like, I want to add this equipment to this unit. Or yeah, like this faction doesn't exist, so I'm going to play them. I don't remember straight up orc rules from Panoptica, but they did have a full Eldar book with Harlequins and like beginnings of aspect warriors and stuff that were apparently really strong when they made them. I think Panoptica will have a much more diminished role going forward, but we'll see. They made a big post about like what they are planning on making and what they aren't planning on doing. So, Future Snow, what's going on, man? How you doing? Not much research into it yet? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Aslan. Yeah, do you know where to find the militia book, Aslan? It's in the Warcom website on their downloads, and there's a Legacies. It's called Legacies in the Age of Darkness or whatever, and you'll find the Imperialis militia book there, and you can read through it. The main thing to mess around with are the provenances, which you always pick 2 for your militia army, and then you go through like the unit entries and stuff. Yeah. I'm excited to put my militia on the table when I get there. 2.0 panel orcs, but nothing Xenos has been converted. Okay, I don't remember the orcs in Panoptica. I was too busy trying to figure out how to add Death Strike missiles into my militia army, I guess. Yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. Have you done guardsmen? Yeah, I've painted a lot of guardsmen for people. My actual militia army that I use is I use 3D printed guardsmen as my basis for them. So I have about 150 infantry for the army. Yeah, and my Lehman Russ tanks are printed, and they are Lehman Russes that look a lot like Star Wars ATTEs, so the clone 6-legged walkers. Yeah, they're really cool. Desert-themed walkers are better in the desert terrain, is what I'm saying. Generally looking at getting a Saturnine box for books and the Saturnine models. We use the Dread as a Telemon for Custodes. The Terminators for Emperor's Shield or Champion stuff. Okay, oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, if you find uses for the books, that's awesome. There's probably going to be a plastic Telemon coming out. I don't know what the odds on it are, but I'm putting very good odds that a Telemon is like a high priority for a plastic release coming out by maybe the end of the year or early next year. Yeah, you think the Saturnine looks better? Yeah, I think they're pretty similar size and build, aren't they? The Telemon has the giant shoulders, just a little more lanky. So yeah, I guess if you don't like the lanky tank look and everything. Yeah, we'll see what they get. I think the things they're gonna get are gonna be like, here's plastic for like a get you started, kind of like all the other factions have gotten plastic so far. Like, infantry squad, a big tank, a dreadnought, um, a couple characters maybe. And I think that might be about it for a wave one. They'll probably get a second wave about 6 months later. Equal in price and size, so I may as well go chunker and easier to get. That's true. That is very true. Saturnine's a good value. Even the 40 tactical marines it comes with, very versatile, and they're really good minis. And if you sell them, you can still, you can make a lot of your money back too if you're gonna start selling minis. If you really don't want the marines. Okay. Just one more little thing here. Daughter's building Saturnines to run as Centurions. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. They're pretty similar size, right? Enter in sport mode so I can finish the second part. Dang, when did you start that second piece? Same base size. Yeah, there you go. That's cool. Just a question, Zen. I'm not at all demanding or thinking that this is the case, but do you think you'd have that thing done by tomorrow? By the time you come over tomorrow? Yeah, not rushing you. Just curious. Oh, it failed once? Okay. Dang. You try, but I doubt it. Okay, that's cool. No problem. Not like I'm in a rush or anything. I have plenty to do. Final little highlight on some of this pure gray blue here. But yeah, I think that does it for the Tyrannid chitin. So if I want Heresy Marine Army, got to do research into their differences. Yeah. The differences are fairly like simple on the surface. Every legion has its own. It's called a right of war. It's like its special rule. The special rule affects everything but vehicles. And like that's pretty like vehicles and automatons, and that's basically it. So. Thousand Suns is +1 willpower. Now, Thousand Suns have other rules on top of that, like psychic disciplines that they can all get and everything. But they're also better at casting, willpower-based things. The bring it. It's Faded Plum is what I want. There's yeah, they're all just kind of different. I think World Eater's like +1 attack when they charge, which used to be a rule everybody got, and basically World Eaters would get +2 attacks when they charge, but now nobody gets charge bonuses like that, and it's just World Eaters get the extra attacks. Blood Angels get +1 strength when they charge. Space Wolves get extra distance on their setup to charge. White Scars move faster. Iron Hands are tougher. Iron Warriors don't care about casualties. Death Guard can move slowly and still fire heavy weapons, and still kind of stationary for their heavy weapons. What else? Raven Guard count. They make enemies fire snapshots at them if you're outside of 18 inches from the enemy. which I think at first everybody thought would be really broken and way too good, but I think as people play, they're like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. Three parts, fourth and fifth may be done before I go to bed. Okay, dang, yeah, that's kind of close. Don't destroy yourself over it. Don't stress about it. If you do, it'd be really cool, but if not, it's totally fine. And if you want to bring what's finished over tomorrow when you come over, that would be great too. We can all look at it on stream, ogle over the crazy buildings. The big crystal is just okay. Is there a crystal in the pyramid too? I'm just saying, like, it'd be fun to show off what he has done. But he doesn't have to get it all done. Yeah, the secret best part of 3.0, the lack of rerolls. It's so refreshing. Yeah. It's weird how fast that makes the game go. Because aside from the fact that people aren't spending a bunch of time re-rolling dice and counting dice and picking up dice and moving dice again, there's none of that, but there's also just this acceptance. When you roll something and your Primarch gets killed, you're just like, okay, and you just pick them up and you go. Like, it can be a funny moment and stuff, but you're not like spending 10 minutes looking through a rulebook trying to find some reroll that means your special snowflake character never dies or whatever. Like, you fail the dice and that's it. I had a challenge against somebody this past weekend with a learning game, and I ran in there with a character. He had a weapon, had breaching 6 up as a power sword, so on 6s to wound I would be AP 2, and I was fighting a Terminator who had a 2-up save, but I needed 5s to wound. I got 2 5s to wound the guy, and I was playing a Gambit in the challenge that made it damage 2. So the only way he could die is if he rolled Snake Eyes on his armor saves, and he just straight up rolled Snake Eyes. And it was honestly like it was really funny, but it was also just like, oh, okay, I guess he died before he got to attack, and that was that. Like, you just roll 2 1s. There's no crazy rerolls. Free Heresy rules. Groovy, yes, the Inductii rules came out today. The Legions Inductii. Those are the free rules I'm talking about. So we were chatting about them. They're really cool. Way more interesting than I thought they were going to be, or I guess even expected them to be. So there's cause for hope. But no, they're really cool rules. They're really fun. Every Legion got some unique stuff out of it. Unless you don't play a Legion, then you don't get anything unique, but it kind of is what it is. But yeah, name your favorite Legion, I'll tell you their Inductii rules. They're crazy child soldier rules. Sad mortal noises. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Valios. I am. Everyone freaking out about what? The lack of rerolls? Cultured? Is that what you're talking about? What people are freaking out about? I think for the most part, when I had seen everybody's reaction to the lack of rerolls, I think it was very positive things. Sad computer noises, yeah. Yep. Yeah, the no rerolls. No, I think people generally accepted that that the lack of rerolls was really nice. People had a lot of other complaints, and for the most part, like, those complaints have been pretty much abated, right? Like, people that have played the game seem to really enjoy it. I really enjoy the rules. I like these rules better than 2nd edition. Not just because my army is actually cool now. I just think the rules are better. It was interesting early 10th. Yeah, except for Space Marines, which was like 80% of the people playing had like all the rerolls, especially early in 10th. That was what was funny about 10th edition. It was like yeah, no more like they cut down the amount of rerolls a bunch in the game, and it's just like everything just gets rerolls. It's like if you don't have rerolls, like you're lacking severely in the game. And that's why Space Marines are good, because their whole army rule is on rerolls, and every unit has an ability to reroll. And yeah, this Heresy for real, Heresy 3.0, 0 rerolls in the game. There's nothing. They do mention in the rule book, how to reroll dice and what a reroll is, but there are 0 rerolls. Left 40k to try Heresy, did throw a stink, but the narrative of 30k community was this is chill. Yeah. And I think the people that had followed the game longer, I think maybe understood to like let's wait before we freak out and see how things kind of shake out with like the legacies and you know, like unit rules and how the game plays. I think there was a part of the community that was like that, and those people were all pretty cool with it through the whole process. Doesn't sound. I know it doesn't. No, it's not many. Yeah, I never said it was the majority by any means. But yeah, I personally think a lot of the big freak out with the rules was a lot of like 4chan run drama. Surprise, surprise. But when the 4chaner started leaking rules and was able to he kind of controlled the narrative about everything, and would be like, hey, look at this dumb thing, and would put them out, and then everybody would be like, oh, everything's horrible. And the dude never ended up releasing all the rules before the actual rulebook was released. So he would just say something yeah, this unit sucks now, and everybody's like, oh, he has the book and he says it sucks, so it sucks now. And that was what people accepted as fact. You have this one army and all your rules suck. Yeah, there were people saying that. I have yet to actually experience that, or to see an actual example of that from people playing the rules about how their army just outright sucks. When you deal with any edition change with any tabletop game, there are units that were once good that won't be good anymore. And there are units that were once not good that become good. That's just the standard. And I don't even know, that's not even a bad thing. The rules change and certain things interact with rules better. So that's just kind of how life works. And when people are like, oh man, my one unit isn't good anymore, this isn't fair, I bought 35 dreadnoughts and they were busted in OP, and people hated me when I played them in 2nd edition, and now they're not that good in 3rd edition, which they're fine, they're not as good, but that's fine. But oh, I'm gonna throw my army away or whatever, people just freaking out about that. Yeah, Had to pivot when 10th came out. Yeah, it's what you do with an edition change. It's just part of it. Okay, we got some of these colors. Let's get to our next thing. The Tyranid's about done. We'll do some claws and some other things here in a little bit. I want to start getting his armor a little bit. Man, people keep calling me. So the lesson here is to collect 10,000 points of your chosen army, and then edition changes won't really affect you. It's that simple, guys. You think a guy that brings 30 dreadnoughts really understands people playing? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Mechanicum have wonky rules. I don't... Evelios, the Mechanicum's rules are not as bad as some people state. There are a couple strange interactions, and it's like with those interactions it's pretty obvious what's intended and what isn't, and like we can rules lawyer the game to death. And I understand, like, we want to play the game rules as written and everything, but like it's either like you can play it as it's like supposed to be played, or you can gripe about it nonstop. Yeah. You broke in debt, eat nothing but cat food. We had to worry about buffs and nerfs. Exactly. That's exactly right, Star Laser. Yeah, transport's a silly issue. But it's like it's a clear oversight that like they can be FAQ'd at any time. But like we know what it's supposed to be. Right, because, like, of course the transport can actually transport models. Like, they didn't make the rules so that they can't be transported. And maybe this is part of, like, the communication and being an adult when you play a game. Also, I don't know how many people work on that particular, in the specialist design studio, and who worked on these books. But these designers put out a main rulebook that completely changed the rules of the game, and they put out 5 army books that covered collectively 23 factions, 22 factions or something. They put out all of that at the exact same time, and that our biggest gripe is like an oversight about some of the transportation issues. It's like that's fine, like it's not that big of a deal. Like, okay, it sucks for that Mechanicum players have to like interpret a rule for how it's intended, but that's pretty impressive, especially by like GW standards, to put out that much and have that many like solid rules. What is moot too? They're paid to do a job and they should do it right. That's true. I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We should. But I think the alternative, Zen, is we deal with a situation like last edition of Heresy, where all of the non-Marine players wait a year and a half to get their book. And then, maybe that issue will be resolved then. But, like, would we rather have that, or would we rather have the book come out with some oversights and have it out day one? I mean, obviously we want the book with no issues and out day one, but yeah, it does suck. Yeah, that's also reality though. Yeah, when they have, Gruby's probably right. They probably have 3 people writing all those books. Like, you could take all the notes in the world. You can keep things as organized as possible. But like, what kind of company resources does GW put into it? And are we complaining about? Yeah, because are we complaining with these rules about the designers who are writing the rules, or are we complaining about Games Workshop not allocating resources? Because, you know, if they had 20 people writing these rules, would they make these mistakes? Maybe not. Yeah, AOS and 40 have like 6. Yeah. Those rules are more poorly written than the the Heresy rules too. Yeah, I'm totally fine holding the company to a high standard, and that's fine. Like, if I have things to complain about, I'll complain about them. And you know, it's fine to complain about an oversight and a rule and everything, and hopefully it gets, you know, FAQ'd and they're clear about it and everything soon. But I also think that people continuing to harp on the point that there's mistakes in the rules are, uh, I don't know, just being annoying. Especially when, again, it's not that big a deal. 640k writers that no one wrote AdMech, yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They should be held to a high standard, and that's fine. Also, though, like, are we really, if we're honest for ourselves, are we in these games because of high standard rules? Are we in these games because we know there's going to be no typos, or we have the expectation that the rules are going to be like error free? And you know, if that's the expectation that you have, then I mean, by all means, you know, you make that decision with your wallet and like don't buy the rules, right? Um, and that's totally fine. I think that's fair, and I hope that that would make a change in whatever policy for, like, you know, higher standards in writing and everything for their rules. But I don't think we're all buying rules from Games Workshop and being like, yeah, these are going to be the best rules they've ever made. Like, we buy it because there's a game to play, and maybe there's cool lore, and we wanna push minis around a table with our friends. And I think with that in mind, having the expectation of like, yeah, there's going to be some goofy things in the book, and I can talk with my opponent about it, and we can figure out a reasonable solution to some minor issues. Parentage greedy and inconsiderate. The writers aren't at fault themselves, but still a function that gets past us. It is a function that gets past us, yeah. Absolutely. Still pay for it. Well, whatever I paid those writers to write Thousand Sun rules for 3rd edition sure worked, because been nothing but absolute fire for my legion. So is it 137 already? Wow. Going quick. keep highlighting stuff. I got stuff on the palette. Got colors on the palettes. Let's do it. They play at the same time. I don't want to see the setting I've looked. Yeah. Yep. It's 1037. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, Velios. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, because we all have like settings and games that we love in the context that like GW makes. Oh, nice then. All right. And the way these games, especially stuff like these specialist games, right? That aren't the main focus from Games Workshop. The way these games get made is through like us buying the things. So like we want these games, we want to support the writers in the studio, like the little sub studio that makes these games. We do that with our wallet. You know, and like if you don't want to support Games Workshop, you don't have to, but if you're not going to support Games Workshop financially, then like you have to be okay with the game that you like not getting any support or not getting anything new. Like, you know, you have all the minis you're ever going to want, and you never want the rules to change, and you're perfectly happy with everything you got, and you have people to play with, then, you know, by all means don't buy anything, and that's fine. But ultimately, you know, the reason why Heresy has all these cool plastic minis is because people buy stuff. I'm trying to race through these colors, see if I can't get these highlights done today. You down there. Yeah, I don't like supporting greedy corporations either. Check 3D channel, 3D print channel. Oh, sick. Oh, that's so cool. I love it, dude. I love it. It's like adorable little pyramid. The turnaround on your printer, on like the FDM printer, is so crazy fast. Yeah, because it's like 8 pieces, right? Something like that. Six for the bottom, and then yeah, 2x3. You printed a Saturnine Dread. Oh, cool. Make it a Thousand Suns one. Very nice. You will have to send some pictures, Groovy, because I'd love to see that. That's fine. Need to see everybody's painted Thousand Suns. That's what's got to happen. Alright, cool. We got his pants. Let's go for some gold next. How about that? Don't use a lot of gold on these. Botan. Maybe tomorrow we'll get to the weapon. I want to do some cool effects on his sword. A little above and beyond on it. maybe start on something new tomorrow. Get out the post office today. I got another commission coming in the mail, and I'll start on next month. It's mixed up. This won't have giant crystal. Okay, just a corner rune. Okay, yeah, I thought the crystal was like that temple one that we had or whatever that was. Oh, sorry. That better? Better. Appreciate it.
It's cold. Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Oh, yes, thank you. A drink of water here. Four of 6. That's cool. Yeah, that's no problem at all. I'm just a little disappointed. Just kidding, dude. It's cool. Not like I'm gonna be painting it tomorrow or something, so. Yeah, sure. Okay, red on there. We need to do the brown next. Brown and black. Let's mix a little bit of ivory with this red. Hey, Jaded Valkyrie, welcome in. Too much? I'm doing well. I am just, pick that up a little bit. Trying to zoom through this dude right here, Buri Aegnirssen. Almost done with the EC Kit Bash. 10 models to check. Destroy a Rhino put together. Third Heresy Rhino. I built the bottom of the tank, just didn't want to slot to the... Yeah, the Heresy Rhino has some weird connection issues. Yeah, I have found that a bunch of rubber bands are really your friend when it comes to those Heresy Rhinos. Gares Knight, welcome in. Yeah, how you guys doing? Welcome in, guys. Hey, we'll let everyone know. It's my last time reminding everybody. We are doing something. If you would like your name on one of my Thousand Suns minis, so I'll paint your name on the base rim, and it will go with me into battle. You can do that, and the way to do that is 100 bits or a $1 donation. You can do that in a sound alert with the bits, or you know, I guess if there's other ways to give bits, you can do that. But I'll write your name, and the $1 is for just like a basic tactical marine, assault marine, despoiler, something like that. The $5 or 500 bits for someone in an elite squad. So Terminators or something equivalent. And I am basically using that. I'm raising money so I can just buy a Fellblade for my Thousand Sons Legion. So, new rules are great, Cody. New rules are great. The Inductii rules came out today. They're honestly really cool. So, I'll off do some actual work. All right, Zen, you have a good one, man. Some green stuff work. You need to sand down a touch more. Yeah. Okay. That's cool, though. I'll be painting some Emperor's Children, some 40k Emperor's Children on stream next month. The TPD Fellblade donation fund. Yeah. You guys are getting stuff out of it, though. Make sure you guys get your minis on the base. So, for example, we have Wandering Pict is on an Assault Marine. Dunder Snuff is on this unit leader. It's also Sergeant Breadstick, aka Dunder Snuff. And Reja is on my Terminator Sergeant here, the Inceptor for my Sekhmet Terminators. So, they won't have snake tails. No, they will not have snake tails. No. Some sad music with images of sad Marines for the donation fund. There, put you in there. Put a lot more. Okay. $0.05 a day can help these poor Marines bring a Fellblade into battle. Yeah. That's right. That's all it takes, guys. The highest donor gets to name the Fellblade. Current high donor is 1,500 bits, or $15 from Grumpy Insights. Not asking for anybody to pay for the whole Fellblade, but, you know, $5, get your name on Marines that, you know, I play this game every week, every other week, so these Marines see the table. I think we'll finish this brown and call it a day. I might paint a little bit more on this guy tonight. We got silver, we got eyes, we got some of the black to highlight. Not a whole lot more, though. Hey, Snow by One, welcome. Yeah, I have lots of Thousand Sons, so we're painting some Votan right now, but we might be back to painting some Thousand Sons tomorrow. Finish this guy. If I had money, Wolfsbane? Oh, that's a cool name. Yeah, oh, that's such a good name for a tank. Dang, dude. Yes, it is a Tyrannid Carapace Cloak. Yep, because this guy has been swallowed by Tyrannids. If you guys want to name one of my Thousand Sons tanks, we'll just make it 1,000 bits, and you can just name a tank. Not the Fellblade, but you can name the other tanks. I have, I don't know, 10 other tanks we can name. I got rhinos and battle tanks and, you know, big tanks and stuff, so... Votan, a very new to painting mini. Yes, this is Votan. This is a Votan mini. So you got it. Oh, the Inductii are so cool. Yeah, the Thousand Sons Inductii are pretty disgusting. So Groovy, what makes the Thousand Sons Inductii so good is that you can, so they get breaching 6 up on the power, which is nice, and their willpower 8 because they're Thousand Sons, so they're gonna get their power like 76% of the time or whatever. The real disgusting part, though, the breaching 6 is nice. The real disgusting part is you can give them the Thousand Sons Ace Fix Bolters, and they're actually made to take those Ace Fix Bolters. In the lore, that's what they used. But the Ace Fix Bolters are bolters that give you rending 6 up. So if you combine the rending bolter with the breaching power, that means for every 6 to hit that you get via the rending rule counts as a 6 to wound, which triggers breaching. So you throw, let's say you throw 30 dice. You have 15 Marines throwing 30 dice. Out of the gate, you got, that's 5 breaches. You just caused 5 wounds at AP2 on the hit roll, right? Because that's average. 5 6s out of 30, yeah. That is not the color I want. Hold on. And then you rolled a wound with the rest of them. The Steel Sorcerer, that's another good one. Yeah. I love it when you guys name my tanks. You guys did such a good job on my militia tanks. I adore those tanks and all their fun names and everything. So, yeah, if you guys want to name a tank, you can let me know, because you guys come up with the best ideas for tank names. But yeah, the Thousand Sons Inductii are very good. They're very killy. And it's funny too with the Thousand Sons, because they seem like they go under the radar. Like, there aren't really any like big content creators that play Thousand Sons, and so people just don't notice how good their rules are. Perils of the Iron, oh, that's cool too. Yeah. You writing these down, dude? Because those are good. Those are good names. Let's do a just a standard dark warm gray here. Do Night Lords? Yeah, Night Lords have their own Inductii rules. Yeah, they have they all have special prison shivs that are really good melee weapons that they get for free. Oh shoot. And they have a rule that after the end of a melee combat, after you figure out like the resolution and stuff, they just get to stab everybody they're in combat with, or they all get to basically make an attack. So it's like they have no honor and they just like jump right in to kill whoever they're doing. Yeah, Wordbearers have some really cool rules in 3.0 at this point. Yeah, just playing the worst people. Cool. Well, we're pretty close to being done on this mini. You know, let's just go through. Let's do this this silver here. You don't need a lot of this silver highlight because he won't have super bright armor or bright silver on his armor. I figure there's gonna be a little bit of grunge. Yeah, the lightning effect is cool. Yeah, Zen paints Night Lords. He has a Night Lord army in Heresy, and they look really good. Yeah, he does the lightning on their armor and everything. Dusk Raiders, yeah. Yeah, pre-Mortarian Death Guard. Okay, guys. We got a lot of these highlights. We want to paint his weapon. I get his weapon and his beard. So his weapon, which are like these 3 blades. I'm gonna make kind of like I'm gonna do like a heat pattern kind of thing. I might try to do what they do. They did like a purple magenta kind of fade on there. And then his actual beard that will make gray. So we'll do that. Yeah. And we'll do that tonight or tomorrow. We'll do definitely do the sword tomorrow. I'll finish up any like random highlights I have, or, like color things I have. We'll do that. And then yeah, we'll finish this mini up tomorrow. I should have painted this Tyranid stuff when I did all the others. That's what we'll do. We'll finish this mini up and we'll start on something else tomorrow. Or not to like Thousand Suns. Magnus got done dirty. He did. Yep. I agree. Hands down agree. Man, a lot of people hanging out today. What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming to chill. We're going to raid out into somebody. So if you bear with me, we're going to find someone nice to say hi to. We'll do the miniatures and models channel here. We can raid Zambies. How about that? We haven't raided Zambies in quite some time. So we'll do that. We're going to say hi to Zambies, everybody. All I ask is that you say hi and you give a follow to the creator. All right? We want to, you know, be a good community. Make sure that we show that we're positive, you know, and supportive of everybody. But I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming to hang out and for just keeping me company, supporting me through what I do, and I hope that I get to see you guys tomorrow. Zen should be hanging out with us in stream, so it should be a fun time. But I will see you all tomorrow, and yeah, it'll be a great time. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.